Well, Shane Boyd's Park 4 MX in Victoria is the location for today's test. And what we are testing is the brand new Yamaha YZ250F. What a sensational bike. Relatively unchanged from 2016. However, there's a couple of very important features and upgrades that we need to mention. Let's start off in the engine department. Yamaha already had a very strong 250F machine here. However, they've made a few changes to the engine just to try to give it a little bit more punch. They've given us brand new camshafts, they've given us a new intake port and a new connecting rod, and a couple of fine-tuning little aspects mainly designed to try to up the mid-range punch a little bit. They've changed the engine mount brackets just to add a little bit extra rigidity and to slightly change the positioning of the engine, all aimed at trying to give it a little bit more of a nicer settled feel in the corners. And one of the main features of the Yamaha 250F, just like its big brother the 450, is the engine is completely spun around, so the header pipe comes out the back of the engine instead of the front. The petrol tank's completely relocated and much more centralised mass. It completely changes the handling characteristics and actually get a little bit more horsepower out of the bike as well. Now the 450 has had this characteristic for an extra year over the 250, but the 250F is well and truly into the swing of things now. Had it last year and they continued with it into 2017. The track here today, Boydie's put it on for us, let me tell you, is in sensational condition, and it just made basically anything you were going to ride out there feel spectacular, and it really allowed you to put the bike through its paces in corners, jumps, a lot of traction. I'm super impressed with this bike. It felt nice and light, nice and nimble. The suspension handled exceptionally well, and it felt really balanced. I noticed it's got a very nice light clutch pull, and up against some of its competitors, it's got hydraulic clutches nowadays. It could be easy to get a little bit critical on how hard it is to pull in a cable clutch. No problem for the Yamaha, nice and strong. Our front brake worked exceptionally well, nice and strong, and when you've got so much traction like we had today, you can really get on those brakes nice and hard. This thing will stop on a dime. I really enjoyed the motor and how it pulls off the bottom. It almost has a 450-like bottom end. A lot of torque, where a lot of other 250s you'd have to pull a lower gear. This thing here, you can afford to pull a taller gear and it really will tractor out of the corners. Another cool feature about this bike, that's very innovative with Yamaha, we've got a toolless air filter accessibility, which means no tools needed to get to that air filter. So overall, a sensational package. The ergos, the feel of the bike hasn't really changed much from last year. However, these new engine changes, you can definitely notice a little bit of a pep up in the motor department and getting up and over some of those tricky jumps out there. There's some big hits here at Park 4. No problem whatsoever on this machine. A very competitive bike that I guarantee you is going to feature right up there come shootout time. Looking forward to see how it goes. So Yamaha fans out there, look into it a little bit more, do your research. It could be a bike of choice.
For all your insurance needs, visit swaninsurance.com.au.